And there we are. Hold on one sec. Might as well do this the right way.
Funny. Nice.
Actually, let me slow it down a little bit because this is a serious little thing here.
I suppose that's true.
That's a little too slow. There we go. Okay, so we're here today to talk about, as you can tell, our lovely Supreme Court.
Ah, Scrotus. No, I won't be disrespectful yet.
No, I will. They deserve it.
Yeah, man, I just cannot believe what they're doing. And they're going for it, too. They're going to steamroll over everything while they can before they're stopped.
Well, it's been a very eventful week and a half for them. They have managed to erode away many things that we apparently took for granted.
They're dismantling the Clean Water Act. Or the Clean Air Act, rather.
That's correct. They're doing a lot of things. Check this out.
Yeah.
So, let's go down this point by point. They've now changed it so that if you're not read your Miranda rights, if they're not enforced, you can no longer sue the police department.
Yep. There's that.
They're not even required now to tell you what your rights are.
It's a choice.
Right.
So they're going to trap all kinds of people.
Of course.
Which is why we have the rights in the first place. Because there are some people that don't understand that they have those rights.
Of course, and we're going to circle back around to that later because there's something.
No, carry on, sir.
Gun owners in New York.
There
were restrictions on public carry, public concealed carry and public carry because in New York City, you basically had to. How do I put this?
The laws are quite tight.
You had to demonstrate an actual need for self-defense, for a self-defense weapon.
Right.
Taxpayer funds used for religious education. Now that one kind of pisses me off.
Kinda?
Yeah.
It utterly pisses me off. Yeah.
What they're doing is they're saying that they can take taxpayer money, create school vouchers, give them to religious schools, but don't have the right to dictate what those religious schools teach.
Well, then what about if someone's going to a Muslim school or some kind of satanic wacko school? You know, we have to pay for that now. It's a religion.
Well, of course, it's only approved schools.
Oh. I didn't see the approved in there. And who's going to be the one that approves it? Who sets the rules for what churches, what religions are the ones that we can use or not?
Well, apparently, according to the recent history of the Supreme Court, those decisions will be made by the individual states.
Of course they will.
And how do you like religious prayer is protected in school by religious prayer by employees,
by the coach? Yeah.
So
they showed one of his quiet, little to himself prayers that he does on the 50-yard. I mean, on the 50-yard line. That's right. That is on the 50-yard line.
Yeah.
When the Supreme Court makes it out to say that he's off somewhere else in, like privacy of the locker room or
no.
in his car or something. Oh, no. But that's the way they dissented on it. That was their opinion.
State
And
law supersedes indigenous law on indigenous land.
Yeah.
We just took away the rights of Indians.
Yes, all of them.
So we have, or Native Americans. I apologize if I had the terminology wrong. So we've taken away your rights from the police. We've taken away your protection from gun crazy people. We've given taxpayer money to religious schools and told every school that they can pray to whoever they want, whenever they want, because it's protected.
Yeah, until they start bitching about the people praying to Allah, every afternoon or whatever.
And they're taking away.
Hey, drop the scroll for a second, will you? You can't see that bottom piece.
Sure. And they're taking away the rights of Native American people.
Right, and that's just.
And now they're also taking away their rights, a woman's right to reproduce or for reproductive freedom.
That's more accurate, yeah, because now they can't necessarily have a private conversation between their doctor and whomever else they choose to make a decision.
Now they say we're not taking it away; we're giving it to the states to decide, knowing that 26 states already had trigger laws ready and waiting.
And they're already trying to figure out laws that can, what do I want to say? That there's consequences if you leave the state and go to one of these, states that allow it and then come back. They want to be able to prosecute you when you come back. So how are you going to monitor that? I'm kind of curious,
Well,
no, I'm just saying
here's the thing.
They're going to have to monitor
Patrol.
women's movements, and that's
border patrol.
They're not free anymore.
Border patrol. They're going to try and restrict your freedom to travel.
Right, you're going to get to the border just like that ad, and they're going to be like, "Oh, where are you going?"
Oh, it's going to be worse. It's going to be. Can you show me your papers that you're not pregnant? Since you're
kind of
leaving the
sounds a
state?
lot like fascism to me, eh?
I agree, and that's what it's going to be. It's going to be show me your papers that you're not pregnant before you.
Show me the papers.
While you're leaving, and if you don't have current papers, you can't leave the state.
No disrespect to today's Germans. This is for 1932. That's a shout out to.
And it gets worse because this, and I said we'll circle around to the Miranda rights. Getting rid of the Miranda rights gives police an extra edge, they said. The edge that they need for convictions.
Well, they can already lie to you without consequences. They can say they or exaggerate what they have or don't have, and that's okay.
Right.
And that's how they get a lot of false confessions.
Right, but what do you think that does to the psyche of the cops?
It gives them power. Lots of power over you.
Right.
Especially if you're innocent.
I hate to do this, but I have put up a video package of just exactly how far the cops are willing to take things on peaceful protesters. The pro-choice protesters.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this was after they got rid of the Miranda warning and Roe v. Wade, and this is our
so maybe that's what this is for.
This is our police throughout the country.
Dude, they've already passed laws that it's okay to run over protesters.
Not just one city. Not just one city. This is throughout the country. The first one you're going to see is the Capitol Police shooting into a peaceful protest from the windows of their Capitol building. They're shooting tear gas into a crowd. And that's the very first thing you're going to see. Then you're going to see just how abusive they can be. So hold on and check this out. Okay, I want to stop it here for a second, and there's a reason.
Yeah, I've
And let
seen
me
that
pull this
footage
down.
before.
The reason I want to stop it here, and I'll bring it up in a second. The reason I want to stop it here is because what you're about to see is the police abusing citizens who are trying to help an injured person. The person that you will see the cops surrounding on the ground is having an epileptic seizure.
Oh, right. I saw that.
And they handcuffed him anyway in the middle of his seizure and dragged him seizing down the street.
Hey, a little caution to the viewer too. Some of you guys may not want to see this. It is, in my opinion, it could be a little.
Back up! Get back!
That's a little girl. And this is that Jodie Sweetin from Full House.
Yeah, I saw that.
Now, watch. They need to protect this girl in the green hat because the police just overstepped.
Damn, dude.
That's what our police departments have become.
Yeah, and there was another one with the dude season that you didn't show, which is fine.
I had,
but they were, they finally did something for the dude when they realized that, oh yeah, something actually is happening, and they're like, "Fuck, we got to do something about it because there's like 6,000 cameras on us."
Well,
so
yeah,
I don't know what happened after that. The video cuts off, but
the other one that you're talking about, the crowd was actually yelling at them that he's seizing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and they were begging him to check him or give him some water or something.
And they were pushing them away. The cops were pushing the people away. They're like, he's seizing, he needs help, and they're like, get away from us.
Sorry. Somebody wanted to say hello, and now he's going to leave. Too many cords.
How far is this going to go? With the police backing Republicans. I mean, they didn't even give these people a chance. Did you see how rapidly he was reloading that less lethal firearm that he had?
Sure, it's what they've always done. We're always it's the liberals that are setting everything on fire and shooting everything and burning everything. We also are the ones that attacked the Capitol. That was really us, apparently.
Well, more
because those guys don't do that. White Christians don't act that way. It's got to be the progressive liberals.
But the attack
Hmm.
from that Capitol building, shooting down from the windows into
Yeah,
a
where they're giving
peaceful
orders
crowd.
that say, look, this is what you're going to do. And they do it.
And at one point, and I don't have the video of it, I wish I did, there's a line of police and they grab a megaphone and say, I now declare this an unlawful assembly. You all
Yes.
have to leave.
Move along or something like
Yeah,
that. And
you
they're
can't
using their
do
shields
that.
and pushing people. Yeah.
What? How is it that the police can just declare something illegal? I mean, isn't it?
Because a Republican changed the rules.
I mean, because part of the Constitution is your right to peacefully assemble. Now,
Yeah.
all of a sudden, it's not even a right. It's just whenever the cops allow it.
Well, no, it just depends what you're fighting for. If you're fighting for rights and things like that, of course not. That's got to get crushed. We can't have that. Heaven forbid you might want even a reasonable wage or a reasonable lifestyle. You might buy an iPhone. That can't have that. If you can buy an iPhone, then you're making too much money. Yeah, I've heard that argument too.
Well, that leads back to all the people of color who have been stopped because the car they drive is too nice for their race.
I've heard that too, and that's pretty pathetic. Yeah.
And what gets me is, and George Carlin said it best, the Republicans are against abortion and they're against gays. Well, who has less abortions than homosexuals? They should just
Right.
be, they should get along.
Just be
perfectly.
thankful. Yeah.
But
I'm curious, how are they going to? They're trying to create. Speaking of anti-sodomy laws, okay, how are you going to enforce that? How are you going to enforce that? What are you going to have cameras in people's houses and shit to make sure that, heaven forbid, they're doing something out of the ordinary, or is your doctor going to have to put something in there and measure shit to make sure that
biannual rectal checks, or
I mean, what are you going to have an app for that or something?
Well, see, here's the funny thing. According to the legal definition, sodomy also includes oral sex.
Oh yeah, forget that. Oh yeah, right.
So, how are you going to prove that when
So
you
much for
had
being
oral
Catholic.
sex, when you had oral sex, it was from a female and not a male?
Well, yeah, well, you're not supposed to have it at all. So what difference does it matter?
Well, true.
How are they going to know that happened? Oh, wait a minute, because they're going to know when your wife, or because you can't have sex outside of marriage. That's coming too. You can only have sex when you're married.
You can't live.
So they're going to have little monitors of when your wife is going through her cycles. Right. And well, wait a minute, that's just like Handmaid's Tale. Same thing, just like that. So if you want to find out what they want, watch that, and then you'll know. You'll be of, whatever your husband's name is, Mike, or of Donnie. Yeah.
So we have this problem where they're taking away all the rights of women and the rights of gays. Florida has even taken it so far as, and I use gays as a basket term for the LGBTQ, not as an offensive term, but they've gone so far as to tell teachers that they cannot have pictures of their same-sex significant other in the classroom.
That's ridiculous.
Because it will spur conversation.
So you have to divulge the sex of your spouse. Otherwise, frankly, it's none of their business. That's a picture of fuck you is who that the picture of. It's none of your business.
It's not only that. You can't use terms that are offensive to children. For instance, slavery has now become involuntary relocation in Florida. Involuntary relocation. We didn't have slaves. We had people who involuntarily relocated.
Involuntarily relocated, yes.
Right.
That's a tough one.
And but it gets better because they're claiming that the reason they're doing this is because America has never been about slavery. It was just a short-term deviation from American values. But then we swung back and everything's
American
okay now.
values, yeah. That kind of it's an interesting phrase. Anyway, go ahead.
So
well, considering how we started off by wiping out half whatever lived here first.
But what I don't get is they're against people of color. They don't want to admit their
100%.
history. They don't want to admit their history. They don't
right,
want
because they want to go back to those days of somebody counting as 3/5 of a person or whatever. Where women don't have the right to vote, period.
Women's rights are being chiseled away faster and faster and faster to the point where they're not going to be able to vote.
Yeah. Actually, no, things will happen long before then. Or if that's something that they tackle like next, dude, there's no way. There is no way. There's no way women are going to stand for that. None. And they're not going to be alone.
Wait a minute. Because Clarence Thomas said one of the things they're going after next is contraception.
Yeah.
How do you enforce contraception?
Well, you can prevent companies from selling it.
Yeah, but then you're actually asking for an overpopulation.
No, you're just asking for a lot of people that probably shouldn't have kids, because there's a lot of reasons why people don't have kids. It's not just so they can have more fun. Some of it do it for medical reasons. That's why they don't have kids. That's why they do birth control.
Or they do it.
I know someone in that situation, actually.
They do it for financial reasons. They do it for emotional reasons.
Yeah, well, to name a few. But I mean, there's a medical side of it that they can't have children. They don't want a hysterectomy. They don't want to damage themselves further or whatever, because there's a pill they can take. Fair enough. I'd go for that too. I don't think I'd want to have unnecessary surgery if I could take a pill instead. I'd go that route, especially if my insurance covers it. But I mean, there's other reasons to take certain types of birth control to, anyway, I don't want to get into it. I do know some of them, but anyway, still, there's reasons that are none of anyone's business. I know they probably shouldn't have gone with the right to privacy. That they said that they should have went with another amendment. And I wish I kind of remember. That was only yesterday I heard. I want to say it was the 14th Amendment, but I can't recite it off the top of my head. I don't know. I don't remember. But it wasn't the right to privacy. They said it would have been a stronger case if they used another amendment, which once I heard what that was at the time, I agreed. And I think I still do. But anyway, we have to find a way to either codify it, which is to, I'm surprised Biden said this, but to put the temporary stay on the filibuster for this alone, which they could probably get Manchin and Simmons to get on board with, and probably a couple of Republicans, because apparently this is one way for Susan Collins to prove that she was really duped and to put one over on Kavanaugh,
Yeah, but the problem is Susan Collins, she may admit that she was duped, but she'll never vote against party.
Oh, I'm sure she won't. But regardless, if we can get at least our 2 token Democratic votes to really vote for us, then yeah, we could do the filibuster and codify Roe v. Wade, which is what we should do. We should codify voting rights as well. We should do it for both of those. So we don't.
I was under the impression that you could only do that once per term, and that they already did it at the beginning of.
No, I don't. I think it's something that they vote on. It has to be by majority vote to do stuff like that. Yeah, pretty sure of that, because they've done it. They've done it before, lots before, especially when they were in charge. And they wanted to get around.
I know that they used a special provision to push through the what was it, the COVID financial incentive program.
Yeah, but again, it's something they voted for. And they agreed that a certain amount of that could be voted on with a simple majority as opposed to a filibuster. And there's also that nuclear option they always talk about. So,
which reminds me, let's talk about this for a minute since we're in the government frame. Okay. I'm not anti anyone. I'm anti well, I'm pro morals.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm
And
anti people getting in my privacy too.
I'm for anyone who is going to present a platform that's going to be beneficial to me and most of the people.
Absolutely.
Okay. So if a Republican comes out with such a platform, great. I'm all for it. If a Democrat does, super. If somebody from the Tea Party or the Independent Party does, fantastic.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? Now, with that being said, I'm not voting for Biden again. And I
won't vote for Trump.
After he pulled that stunt,
I know,
where he made that deal with McConnell to appoint an anti-abortion judge to a federal bench for a lifelong position.
I know.
In exchange for somewhere down the road, McConnell allowing him to nominate and push through Democratic judges.
They fucked us on 2 judges.
He's an idiot.
We got screwed on 2 Supreme Court judges, Merrick Garland and Amy. We got screwed out of both of those. We had a year practically for Garland, and they had a couple of weeks for Barrett, and they shoved her in at the last second.
Right.
So yeah, they stole 2 Supreme Courts. 2. That's where they're getting their majority from, of those 2 thefts of the court.
Correct. And our
and
weak
really,
president,
Kavanaugh was a theft too.
And our weak president is not inclined to pad the Supreme Court.
I'm not willing to allow a Republican president, though. I can't do that. I can't.
Well, you're going to have to vote for independent, or hope that in 2024 there's both a Republican and Democratic primary.
Dude, me too. Because that's how I've been pushing it too. But it's Biden's time to go. He's got to go. He can't run again. He just can't. He did what he, I guess, wanted to. We're stabilized. We're kind of okay with the COVID thing. Whatever. We're as okay as we're going to be for right now. Even our economy's on track. We've got a lot of jobs back. He's fixed a lot of damage that Orange POS has done. And it's time to let a generation that's actually going to survive all of this to be up there. We need somebody that's whoever that person is going to be. We need to get rid of these ancient dinosaurs out of our friggin' government, and time to pass the baton to somebody who it's actually going to matter to. We're leaving these people a graveyard. This place is going to,
Right.
They're the ones that are going to have to clean it up. We need to start letting them get used to what it's like to run things. I'm not saying too young, but, damn.
Well, see, I think the first thing we need to do, first of all, let me ask you a question. Do you recall what the first order of business on the agenda of the Supreme Court is going to be when they return?
Yes, election. They're going after elections next.
Yep. What's left?
Obergefell. That's next after that. But they want to make sure the elections are secure for this November. So they're going to focus on as much as they can for this election shit as they can get away with. Oh yeah. Maybe you said this, maybe you didn't, whatever. But some places are making it so that drop boxes are illegal. You can't have drop boxes.
They're also making it so that the state court cannot interfere in the elector's decision.
The federal court can't interfere in their decision. They want to keep it reduced to the state.
Mm-mm.
No, I heard. Anyway, go ahead. Go ahead.
Because of Pennsylvania, they say specifically Pennsylvania. They don't want the court to intervene in electors' decisions on how to run an election.
Oh, and I thought you were talking about the federal court, which is kind of what I think it is, that it's keeping the federal court out of it, out of elections,
No,
which
that
is really
for,
what they want, because the federal court can step in and say, hey, state, no, you can't do it this way. And they're eliminating that.
well, apparently there was an issue last election in Pennsylvania where court stepped in and said,
Hmm.
we're going to temporarily put a temporary injunction on what you're doing because it's not legal. It's not according to our state's constitution. And the federal Supreme Court has said whether it's against the Constitution or not, the state constitution is not a matter for the state court.
Okay.
Yes, you heard me correctly. So now we have people running elections accountable to no one.
Yes.
We have police who are accountable for nothing. And we have politicians who are accountable for hundreds and hundreds and thousands and millions of future babies born unwanted.
And the balls have been cut off the EPA.
And just to show you how serious
EPA is pretty much a shell.
Just to show you how serious this is, one doctor who specializes in male reproduction normally did about 4 vasectomies a day.
Yeah.
Now he said it's been proven he's up to 12 to 14 a day.
Yeah.
Voluntary vasectomies.
Yeah, that's more than double. What are you going to do too? I mean,
So it's not just affecting women's lives; it's affecting men too.
And they're gonna get into that too, because they want to get it. Dude, they like self-pleasure is on the table, man. Are you serious? It is.
So
it is.
Get the flock out of here.
Yeah, right. No, but seriously, they've already been talking about it in states like Missouri and Kentucky and Alabama, places like that.
So we're going to get rid of self-pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get rid of contraception. And we're going to get rid of...
So, yeah, they want us to start fighting so they can declare martial law, and there you go. Yeah, make us all mad and pissed off. They'll make I don't know, they'll increase the war on weed. Because I'm sure they hate all this legalization. They'll send in the DEA
wait.
anyway.
I have to ask you this because it just popped into my head.
Uh-oh.
Right? This is a Luanon theory.
What? Can I see through it? Probably.
What is the possibility that the Republican Party allowed the passing of marijuana legalization in order to subdue Americans and make them more docile when chill. They go to take over?
Well, no, they already did pass some kind of legislation for that end, like a few months ago. I don't know what happened to it, but I remember they made a big deal of it, at the steps of, the Capitol. And that Republicans were pushing some form of marijuana bill. But Biden can let's do a pen stroke, man. Executive order. Make that shit legal.
His executive, he doesn't want, for some reason, he's afraid to use his power.
He is. I don't get it. There's a lot of things he can pen stroke, and he's not. I don't get it. That's why his popularity is plummeting, and I hope it's good enough that they put somebody else in there, or at least have a primary. Give us 5-6 people to primary up,
right?
And to make every one of them just be. It's a difficult choice because they're all that good. That's what I want. I want it once in my lifetime where when it matters, we really need a good person. Now is the time to put up our best, all of them. Who that is, I don't really know. Is it Elizabeth Warren, like you're suggesting to me? I'm not so sure about that. I don't know. Maybe even someone a little younger than her. Maybe younger than Bernie too. I like Bernie. Don't get me wrong. I will vote for him in a heartbeat. She might be too young though, but yes, I would very much like to see
She'll
an
be
AOC
35.
or her.
She'll just make it in.
Hmm.
Like 2
I don't
months
know. She's
before
got
the
more
election, she
experience
turns
in
35.
her pinky than Trump ever had in his whole body.
Now, well, why don't we convince Mitt Romney to switch
Politically,
sides?
anyway, for sure. Huh?
Why don't we convince Mitt Romney to switch sides?
Yeah, I know, right? Fuck Mitt Romney.
No, I hate to say this. He's one of the people that I
I wouldn't
actually
vote for
liked.
him. Yeah, because he flips and flops and switches and whatever.
There's two
Cheney's still
Republicans that.
crazy too. Don't let them fool you, man. They might
Oh
be on
no,
our
but
side
there's
for
two
this, but
Republicans.
they're against us for everything else.
There's two Republicans that if they switch sides, I would have voted for. One is Mitt Romney, and the other is I just had his name in my head.
If that was my choice against Biden, then yeah, I would probably agree with you on that. Because I really, really don't want to vote for him again.
Who's the senator or the congressman?
I voted for him to get us out of Trump. That's it. That's the only reason. I didn't want
Who's the
him.
congressman that quit during Trump's tenure? Paul Ryan. I'd vote for him.
No way.
Yeah. I think he's got a decent head on his shoulders.
I saw him when he was Speaker of the House, man, and he did a lot of shady deals. He was not an honest politician at all. Yeah, but we got to get rid of that. No.
But everybody's
dishonest
up there.
Right, but we got to change that.
You can't.
We have to. Sure, you can, because they don't make a second term. We have to make these one-term people. If they start bullshitting to us, guess what? You're out. Even if we put another liar in, the next term, they're out too. And we eventually change that cycle. That's just the only way it's got to be. But yeah, if you start lying, you're gone. See ya.
But the problem is if you have such a fast turnover of one term and you're out.
No, but people that really want to do it but are tired of all the bullshit, once they see that voters are actually looking for good people, you're going to see good people stepping up, like AOC's is a very good example. Or Porter. I love Porter. She ran for president. I'd fucking vote for her in a second.
She's out of control.
Yeah, at least she's on our side. At least she's out of control in a good way. She's tired of getting ripped off. She's tired of the average Joe getting fucked,
Right.
So yeah, we need people like that are all in. Because right now, as far as, I hate to say it, but as far as climate change goes, dude, we need to be all in soon, or it's just game over. Yeah, that's just the way it is.
See, here's the problem I'm coming up with, and I know you're going to say I'm sexist, but I'm not, and I'll explain my answer in a second. Problem I'm coming up with is everyone that we've come up with so far is a female. We have not found one male.
There really isn't any. I mean, Bernie, but he's kind of old too. But no, there's not a lot of good men out there right now. The men pool is shitty, and maybe we're due for a good woman up there now. For a woman, maybe to set things straight. Let's see it from her point of view and how things go. We might be quite surprised.
I want to nominate someone now. I want to nominate someone now for president. I want to officially nominate Al Franken for president.
I'd probably vote for him. I really like what he stood for. I think he got screwed over something that was just intentionally blown out of proportion just to make a point. Yeah. Because that person, I've seen interviews with that person, and yeah. That just, I don't know. Probably.
But I would 100% support.
I think he would be 100% for the country too. Is he eligible, or?
I don't see why he wouldn't be.
That's true, because there was never any legal anything on that.
He resigned his position. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, if you put a ticket of Al Franken and Elizabeth Warren, it's all over but the shouting. I'm in.
I bet you a lot of people would be in for that. I guess it depends who they put up against.
I don't think it really matters.
If it went against Trump, probably. I just don't think it's possible that Trump would win. I think we would get voters that had never voted in their entire life. and they're 80 years old. I think they're going to vote to make sure that Trump doesn't win.
Do
You
you
know,
think that Trump wants to run or he wants to threaten to run?
I think he wants to troll. He's a great troll. A lot of
Right.
them are. Republicans are
Right. I was
very,
gonna say
very good at trolling. Mhm.
because he can, if he wants control, he can get that behind the scenes.
Oh,
You
he's
know,
making more money with the schemes he's doing with stealing money from his prospective voters. The people
you
that
know,
are on his side, he's
he
ripping them
can
off left and right.
he can do it behind the scenes by endorsing, by
He made $250
fundraising, by
million off that legal fund of his. And that not a penny of that went to a legal fund. Not a penny of it.
not a penny of it.
No. There was no fund. It didn't exist. So
Well,
yeah, enjoy that for whoever donated. I think somebody I know, gave that person some money. Oh well, it is
call,
what it is.
call me stupid, but back in 2019, I believe it was, I actually donated to Elizabeth Warren's campaign.
I've given to Bernie's campaign when he first ran. I remember
Uh,
my sign kept getting mutilated, and I used to have to try to cob it together, and eventually it was just gone.
so,
Yeah, well, think of where I live too. I'm in Arkansas, man. I don't think I made a lot of people happy with it. And then when Trump was running, there were Trump signs all over the place, so I decided not to. Yeah,
y'all
that's
prepare,
quieter.
y'all prepared for a Huckabee governor?
Nope. I don't know. Jones is a really, really good chance. I don't
Really?
know.
I
Yeah.
hope so. I
Well,
hope so.
because did you see her faux pas where she's saying, "I want to make sure that kids in the
Oh,
womb
yes,
are
yes.
safe as they are in school." Yeah, okay. Tell that to the Uvalde kids,
Yeah,
and
which is funny because that speech
pick a
that she
school.
made, was actually the day after the Uvalde shooting.
Oh, that's right. It was too. Yeah, the day after. That talk about timing.
So
So
what
that
did they?
enraged a lot of people.
Oh, no
There were a
doubt,
lot of people were pissed about that. Yeah, and she went viral. So I don't
no
know.
doubt.
I don't know. It's really hard to say. I mean, the Waltons are a lot of money down here, and I bet you they're dumping in more money than they know what to do with to keep this place from going blue. But wow, stranger things have happened. You know,
Right.
she wants to make everything illegal. Gay marriage and abortion, of course, which in this state is 100%, I believe. Maybe it includes life of the mom. It might, but that's it. If it does, there's no other provision for rape or incest or anything like that. There's no provision for that.
Yeah, that's outrageous. And
Yeah, but
so,
the thing is that there's so many medical reasons why.
well,
You
I
know,
came up with a solution. Anyone who is a victim of rape, incest, or an unwanted pregnancy, condom breaking accident or whatever, they should give birth. I firmly believe that. And I firmly believe that we should take an alphabetic list of the people in Congress and one by one, as those babies are born, hand it over to those people in Congress to raise.
I don't know, man. I mean, I can't speak for myself, but from opinions I've heard from countless women, and just say that they think that that's something that really needs to be the choice. I mean, you have to think about the violence that went into that. You have
Oh,
to
of
think
course.
about all the other aspects that they went through
I think
just
I
through that
think
experience.
I
I
believe
don't know, man. I
that
think they might be.
if they hand it
Hmm.
over
Yeah,
alphabetically,
but they got to
each
carry it
child.
for 9 months,
Wait,
dude.
wait, wait.
Hey,
Let me
kid, don't say wait,
finish.
wait. You need to ask a woman
No,
this question.
no. You need to wait a second and
Hmm.
listen.
Go for
What I was saying was, if they bring the baby to term, they should hand it over alphabetically to the Congress people.
it. Hmm.
Now, as it's going down, I can promise you that'll work twice before Congress gets together and says, oh, no, wait a minute. Fuck this. We're going to change this law immediately. Because they don't want to be raising a crack baby, a black baby, or a rape baby. I promise you that. And once it's forced upon them, just like they forced you to have the baby, those laws will change fast.
There'll be flooding fire departments, police stations, because they said, hey, you can do it without legal ramification. So I guess that's what you can do.
Now. That'll change too. Watch it.
But
Safe
but
havens,
until it does change, that's what they should do. Every potential situation that this person was forced, like you say, to do what they had to do because of the law and such. God, man, that's a shitty thing to ask a person to do. Force a person to do, I should say. But still, I kind of agree is that if they say that you can bring them to a certain place or a church or wherever, I agree. We should flood these places with those children. But then again, I don't know. I bet you some of these people would think I don't want this crazy psycho person raising my friggin' kid either. So we have another crazy psycho person. What's going to happen to all these kids? That's another thing too.
Once you start handing them off to Congress people and saying now you're responsible for the next 18 years to raise this baby no matter what, those laws are going to revert back immediately.
But what if they take them too? Now they can do with them. Now they can do with them what they want.
No. They have to raise them.
Oh, I know. But now they can raise them how they want.
Right. And how many
think about that?
How many of those Congress people do you think are going to want to take a black?
They'll find a way to make taxpayer dollars house all these kids.
Oh,
raise all these kids, educate all these kids.
Yeah. No, they have to raise them. They have to house them. They have to diaper them. They have to feed them. They have to put them through school.
They'll find a way to make it so that we have to pay for it. We'll be paying for it.
No.
I know what your fantasy says, but in reality, if that were to happen, they'd be like, oh, yeah, you trying to fuck me? Yeah, fuck you. Well, all right, give me all those kids. We'll pile them up all in here in this nice little place, and we'll throw food at them, and we'll throw teachers at them, and money at them, and a building at them. And that's what they'll do. See, there we go. We made the problem go away.
No,
and
you didn't.
It's horrible.
Because
they just made a problem.
Do you know how many Congress people there are?
A lot, but you know what? They'll find a way to make their mistresses have a place to have their kids go.
But there's not as many as there are babies born daily. So you take all those babies born daily and put them on the doorstep of those people.
I'd pay to see that.
I promise you that law would change fast. Because the reason being, they're making laws that don't affect them.
Right.
Once it starts to affect them, then the law is no longer viable.
Right.
And that's what we have to do. We have to start making it affect them.
Because even the justices on the Supreme Court on the conservative side are all men. Because it's Amy's husband that's really making the decisions. Amy's not. She's a robot, period. That's part of her religion, is to be a robot for her husband. It really is. I mean, look it up yourself. But yeah, so we have 6 men, one that we don't even know, making the decisions. Well, maybe Ginny Thompson might be making decisions for Clarence Thomas. That's pretty possible, that she's a strong influence in his life.
Well, hopefully she'll be making those decisions from behind bars soon enough.
Yeah, well, at least she took her lawyer's advice, and he's like, yeah, no, she won't be coming. Did you know that I don't know if it's a Trump organization or something like that, but they're paying for the lawyers that are defending these people from January 6th from the committee?
No, I did not hear that.
Yeah, Hutchinson dropped her lawyer. When she dropped her lawyer, then she decided to testify because she actually got a real lawyer that gave her good advice. And one of those threatening messages was for her. They didn't
Oh
say
yeah.
which one, but one of them was directed at
Oh
Hutchinson.
no, they actually
Mhm.
did. They did. I don't know if it was today or yesterday. They actually came out with the
Acknowledge
one that.
that.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
and they said it was from her boss.
Man, she's a brave woman. I'll tell you that. She's got a huge pair of balls for doing that. Bless her for it.
Now I forget what her boss's name is or was. Who did she work for?
McCarthy, Kevin
No,
McCarthy. No, not McCarthy. Meadows. Mark Meadows.
right.
Yeah,
Meadows
chief
staff
of staff.
has put out a statement saying that neither Meadows nor anyone on his staff ever text that message.
Hmm. One way to find out.
I mean, they have digital forensics
Hmm.
that can find out exactly when and where it was sent and by
Well, they've
whom.
already got all his electronic devices, so they already know the answer to that.
Right, but I just think how long before they go, all right, yeah, there's a fox in the hen house, but we're still fighting. Now there's 8 foxes in the hen house. We might as well, now there's 12. Why don't we just admit that there's too many foxes and we're fucked? I mean,
Well, we got to still round them all up. Doesn't matter how many there are. We have to
well,
get them out now. Our hens are still alive.
what I'm saying is, how long is it going to take the Republicans to go? Okay, we're surrounded. We got no choice. We better admit what we did to make it easy on us,
It's happening.
or easier.
That is happening. They've already said that since these have been going on, more people are saying, "Hey, I'd like to amend my statement. I remember some shit." So they've been getting information like that coming in from repeat sources. So yes, now
Did
that's
you
kind of
see?
why they aired all this, and now it's
Did,
causing more information to come in.
did you see the interview with Ivanka? Ivanka? Ivanka Trump, his daughter.
Yeah, I'm waiting. What?
Um, she where she said that she agreed with Bill Barr in
Yeah,
his
yeah, of
decision and
course.
she respects him.
Hmm.
A reporter or a journalist, we'll say, went out and asked other Republicans what they thought about this, and they said, "Well, somebody paid her off, or
Yeah,
she's a
she
clone,
was a
and it's not
clone.
really
Yeah.
her."
Hmm.
This is what they
Yeah, I
believe,
saw that on the Daily Show or whatever. Yeah,
and
yeah, those
these
people are
people
nuts,
actually,
man. Hmm. They
it's just
espousing
it's
that stuff.
crazy. It's crazy. Now we got a few more minutes left, so I want to talk about something real quick. What I want to talk about is this lovely woman from Louisiana. This woman here, Cassie, was wearing this outfit on a very hot day this past month at a public park while she was listening to a band play out in public when she was approached by 3 female officers who basically asked her away from the crowd and told her they were writing her a ticket. When she asked why, they said, "Well, look at you. Can't you figure it out? We're citing you for indecent exposure because of the way you look." This is what she was wearing. And she literally has a ticket for indecent exposure. Now, you can find her story on TikTok at KAZZI 112. Now, now we have the police, and it wasn't even a male police, it was 3 female police officers who came up to her and said, "We don't like what you're wearing. We know you don't have reproductive rights, and we don't have to read you your Miranda rights anymore. And
Oh,
now
that's
we're
true
telling you
too.
you don't have the right to dress the way you want."
I've
And
seen
this is
people
in,
with less on than that I kind of wish
yeah.
somebody would say
Well,
something
she
to,
said
and I don't think she, in my opinion anyway, I don't see anything wrong with it.
what
Whatever.
she said was that day she saw teens running around that park wearing less than what she had on, and nobody said anything.
Wow.
And
I hope
now she
she
had
Hope she fights it.
Wait, it gets worse.
Hmm.
In the state of Louisiana, the violation of indecent exposure is a
This is up to the
felony.
cops. Oh, it's a
It's a
felony?
felony.
Does that mean that she goes on the sex offender registry?
It's a
Are
felony.
you kidding me? I hope she
Yeah, I
sues
kinda
then.
oh,
She needs
she's
to
got
sue.
she was looking for a law.
Wow.
I
That's
don't
as
know if
ridiculous
she
as
found one
getting
or not.
caught pissing in public. If I'm on my own property and my own backyard or whatever, and I happen to take a pee outside, stop
I could
looking in
see
my
maybe
backyard.
I could see maybe if it was in broad daylight and there were a bunch of kids playing next door and they saw you running out or something.
Yeah, whatever.
But
Like, yeah, of course. But
but
if nobody can see me and you got to go out of your
this woman
way, yeah.
has every bit covered. Every bit. She even
And
did a
then
twirl,
some.
and you could see her butt doesn't come out the bottom of the shorts or nothing like that.
Right.
And
And
they
you're right. I've
slapped her.
seen much more revealing stuff, and
They slapped her with a
shorts riding up the
felony
butt.
indecent exposure.
That's crazy, man. I'm surprised they didn't arrest her.
They gave her a citation. She showed the ticket on her TikTok. So my question is, this is where things are leading. How far are they going to go?
They ain't gonna stop, man. They
I
just
mean,
ain't gonna.
women lost reproductive rights. You lost your Miranda rights. You're losing your right to express yourself in your clothing and wear whatever you want. What is next that they're going to do to these groups of people, the LGBT, the people of color, the women? When does it stop?
Mhm.
You know, it
And
has.
we definitely, yeah.
And the only way I see it stopping is voting.
Yes, everybody has to vote.
I mean, yes, I agree.
Please vote.
I'm old. I'm as old as you, and I believe that violent protests do make a difference, but you use that as a last resort.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I remember learning about the Watts riots in school and Kent State and all that.
Yeah.
Change comes from radical protests.
Yeah, civil disobedience.
But we can really make the change now through the voting polls. And if we don't show up in the numbers we need, what's the sense of even protesting in the first place?
And I will say, that works because we have an election coming up soon in November. But I tell you, if we were a couple years away in between elections, I don't know if that would be a viable option with that much time for the Supreme Court to be out of control. I don't know if I think we'd be way past peaceful measures. So I really hope that we see a change in the polls and we gain more seats in the House. And if people are afraid of voting blue, remember, you can vote, you can change again next year or whatever. When they come up again, do. Maybe Republicans will learn and put up a reasonable candidate, somebody for you to vote for. Because just because these people are in there when we vote blue, that don't mean they're going to stay in there either. They're not safe.
Right.
If they're a POS, they got to go too. Just like Biden, he's got to go.
Oh, I agree. And the thing is, I didn't know enough about. I mean, I knew enough about Biden to make an educated decision on my voting.
Yeah, it was a no-brainer when you're up against Trump.
But I also knew enough about Trump
mm-hmm.
to decide that even if it was, Jack the Ripper, still got a better chance of more people being safe than under Trump.
Right.
So
lost a lot of people under Trump.
That's what I did. Now I'm hoping that Biden realizes he's almost 80 by the time the election comes through. It's time to step back.
And I hope he doesn't wait till the last friggin' second to decide, oh, I'm getting old and I feel like shit. I'm not going to run anymore. And
But
now
even if
people have to
he,
scramble to do a primary. That would just be
I
crazy.
don't even care if he feels like shit and he's too old and he's not going to run anymore. Here's what I care about. Um, I care about whether he decides that he's done with politics,
Excuse me.
that he's done what he could do, that even if he stayed in office, there's not much more he can change,
No.
and so leave it up to the next person.
Yeah, he needs to pass the baton. Yeah, I agree. And he should announce that sooner rather than later.
I
Yeah,
say
because I think that
it's
would really help our party a lot if he announces he's going to step
well,
down.
I say in the beginning of 2023 is when the announcement should come
Yeah,
out.
sure.
Because
Yeah,
this 2022 is the midterm elections.
yeah.
2024 is the federal
Mm-hmm.
presidential elections.
Mm-hmm.
Beginning of 2023, after the midterm elections, he should make that decision
Yeah,
and make
and
that announcement.
yeah, and hopefully he will, especially with what happened right now. Because right now this deal with McConnell is only in discussion. It's not.
Right.
It got leaked soon enough. Maybe he'll change his mind and be like, "Fuck," because people are pissed. People are really pissed, and his approval rating is lower than Trump's. So I hope he has a hallelujah moment or something and changes his fucking mind. I can't
Right.
believe I'm pissed at him for doing that in the first place. What is he thinking about? You don't make a deal with the devil. You kidding me? Dumbass. Sorry.
No. I understand where you're coming from. I do.
That was
But
upsetting. It's like, come on, man. We got to rely on you. He should have made weed legal. That's one of the easiest things he could have done. He would have went up 25 points in the fucking polls, like boom, like that.
right.
And plus it would have allowed all these companies to start dumping their cash into banks. They can't use banks right now, so our economy could use all that influx of money into our economy, because right now it's
Right.
basically sitting on pallets somewhere. I mean, they can't do anything with it. you know
Well, I think we've covered as much as we could for today,
I'll go on another rant.
except for the fact that
Oh
we're
yeah.
still looking for this girl, and we're not going to stop until she's found. So please call that number if you have any information. I know you, every week we beat you over the head with it, but it has to be done. It has to be done. And with that, I'll tell you, we're done.
Yeah, I think we're done for today.
And yeah, thanks, Matt, for the interesting conversation.
Yeah, you too, man.
And we'll see everybody next week.